Hello there everyone, this is iMark3 and welcome back to Cosmoteer. Yeah, I'm sorry for the lack of service. I wound up crawling into my headspace for far longer than I was comfortable with, and basically I just got completely messed up. But I am on the mend now, so today I have found myself able to start putting out videos, and I've been preparing some videos over the last few days as well, so yeah, I've been doing better of late. But that is why there's been a bit of an absence. You guys configured? Yes, yeah. And yeah, so that's why there's been no Cosmoteer, no videos in general. It's just like headspace, do bad things. I am Mark 3, very sad. Basically. The last video, I'll admit it was lower quality than the rest of the series, pretty much. It was just like a pure building video, which I don't think I've done since like right back at the start of the series. And anyone who saw that one didn't seem too impressed by it or respond to my request for feedback either, which I know, I shouldn't be surprised at all by that, but I didn't feel too good either. But hey ho, it is what happens whenever I ask for feedback directly, so yeah. But let's be honest, it was generally just like a bit of a poor video. So, right, moving on. I'm not blaming anyone, but moving on. Combat time, because there was some more build work after that. Unfortunately, the footage got corrupted, so hooray for progress. And right now we are down to 120-odd thousand credits. And this ship is even beamier than ever. As I'll give you a quick rundown of what happened last episode and this episode. So, last episode, I shared my thought process as I was trying to work on the rear section and spread things out. So, as you see, missiles are spread out. We've got the beam arrays recessed further back. The missile banks that are back here, the electro missiles, got taken out and replaced with a secondary beam array at the back here. So, of course, more beams, yes. The railguns have been elongated for more punch, though how that'll work in combat remains to be seen, because there has been an update since then as well, and railguns actually do more recoil than previously. They recoil for the entire time length that the shot is within the barrel, so here's hoping we've got enough forward thrust. Oh dear. Oh dear. The other big takeaway I had from the patch notes that one I shared was that the missile changes. Basically, the missiles have had their acceleration profile switched around a little bit, which has resulted in them not tracking that well at first, as I understand it. But then they come around and then they go up to full speed. And there's also ship drag and things has been done as well, which means like ships now effectively have a bit of a soft cap on speed. Especially smaller, faster ships, as I understand it. So I'm not entirely sure about that one. I don't think it really applies to me anyway. This ship was never fast in the first place, and since then I've taken out several engine banks. But yes, moving on. The last main bit I've done is I've added more crew quarters up here to try and make sure I've got enough crew. There's the conveyor tracks are in place back to the forwardmost of the big reactors to act as a power source for this entire area. That's one of the things we're going to be testing today. It's how well does the system cope in its current configuration, because this is actually a bit of a convoluted trek getting people up to this area. Also, this section here is empty and I'm taking like thruster banks in here, but I want to get a bit more money before I try and install that. Plus there's not much space left again. Especially since I took this area and installed a new secondary ion bank for the forward beam, and just for the lulz, I think I've actually turned it into a quad beam assembly. rather than a double beam. So, yeah. In the process of this refit, we've got 6 separate beam emitter points now. All of them have ion prisms for articulation. There's 2 secondary stations on each side. There's the 2 at the front with roughly a 45-degree firing angle-ish. But there's been a significant power spike. So let's count them, shall we? The ones at the back, 2 ion beams. Yeah, that's fine so far. 2 ion beams, yes. They are not protected, though, in any way, shape, or form by armor plating. So they are actually the most vulnerable ion beam section as well. But they're also the least vulnerable to percussive deconstruction, I think you could say. Actually, no, I think that's something. That's a thought I had last week while trying to work myself up to record then. I think the game could potentially do with a new armor type. It wouldn't go amiss. I'm not talking about like a heavy armor type or anything like that. I'm talking about blast shielding. Because as we know, the prisms, they go bang rather spectacularly. So do reactors when they get touched off as well. And things like that. So my thought was, what if there was an armor piece that was like is generally a fair bit weaker than a standard armor piece? It's like it's still got some hit points and some pen resist, but it's just not as good. Oh wait, armor plates has a 50% area damage resist on it anyway. Right, don't mind me. I was hoping for something a bit more effective than that, but apparently armor does actually work to contain explosions anyway, so never mind, it's actually a thing. Right. That's what I get for being short, especially when I'm trying to get back into the flow of things. Right. Forward beam array. Quad beam. So that's 6 outputs so far, though of course there is the efficiency loss of the prisms, but quad beam through a single prism with a 180-degree firing arc on each side for each emission station. So that's another secondary. I have configured it, but as you saw last time, that these rear arrays can actually fire straight forward past this front array. So if something's directly ahead of it, both these beams can actually attack it. Or this back beam might end up combining into that forward crystal if the angle goes wrong. So I don't know what that effect will be, but yeah. Then lastly we have the primary beam bank, which is for 16 ion beams, all merging together into a symphony of destruction. And then coming out of the forward apertures and going bye-bye to whatever's in front of it. So yeah, forward ion beam, pretty darn hefty. I've also got pure armor plates in here to try and help protect the emergence point of the quad railgun array. Though that said, I haven't managed to Shanghai any shields into this area. So this area is actually going to get damaged pretty much every fight. And I am actually a little bit unhappy about that. I would prefer to have some extra shielding. I mean, I deliberately went and shield reinforced the forward nose section of this design the entire time, just because I prefer to have a layer of shielding to buffer any lesser damage coming in. So, you know, we're going to have to see how this goes. But that's the point of this episode. I spent about 10 minutes going over that. But, yeah, we are actually needing to trial this thing and see how well it goes. I don't really want to throw it into an elite, so a Vanguard over there. That'll do for testing, won't it? Wait, is Vanguard the top one? I need to double check this really quick. Veteran, then Elite, then Vanguard. Right, okay, yeah, so don't prod the Vanguard. Bad idea. Especially in a design that is basically unproven at this point for efficiency. Professional, no. Veteran, 1000. I've got enough to bully some veterans, and then there's an Elite right next to us as well if we want it. So, yeah, let's do that. Now, as you can see, I've got a couple of interior located FTL drives in here as well, which I've just connected across the ion pathways, because that's probably a good idea. But it does help get the FTL efficiency up. I mean, what are we at? We are at 93%. So it's not bad. There's only that. I think. Oh, these little wingtips aren't covered. Maybe do some relocate some FTL out that way. I'm not sure where I'd put it though. That's the other big problem. It's like, oh, it's the drives there that I'm trying to do that. We could get it a few percent higher if we put an FTL somewhere in this launcher section here, or back here, maybe. No, that wouldn't be too good. It would have to be like somewhere along the limb itself. And then how would people get to it? I mean, I'd probably have to build a catwalk along the way, just for that. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, let's put a couple of things in there. And then give my crew the exciting task of having to walk along the outside of the ship. Because that's not dangerous at all. Oh no. They can access it through a hatchway into the missile launcher. And there we go, safe as houses. That's not going to come back and bite me at all. Not at all. I can't wait to see how the entire section explodes. Oh dear. Right. Well, to be fair, the FTL drives aren't actually explosive. Okay, right. Back to my original destination. Yeah, that's a lot like 60 odd points off the FTL jump cost. So very small, but still a saving. So fun. And actually, yeah, unsurprisingly, those two outliers are the last ones to actually charge up. Come on, guys. Do the thing. Thank you. In Fench. Oh, jeez. And apparently we've already got targets, so... Fine. I'm not entirely sure... Were they just really close when I spawned in or something? Oh dear. Oh, that was a reactor blast. What happened there? Well, let's be fair, the entire area is somewhat underprotected. And I heard a Wilhelm scream. I could probably do with relocating that reactor bank again. There was a missile bank there as well. And the entire area had 1 meter armor shielding, and it had a direct gap into the area through there. So that might be how the shots get through. Yes, burn you turret. But that's not too bad. I will mention I didn't redesign this area at all. But that is like... Oh. Apparently I have to move. Oh. What was that? That was... I think that was the flak battery going up. Fair enough. But yeah, I think that was just bad luck on my part. Well, that and the fact that this entire area, because I had that point defense section just on there, is a little bit off. I will admit, it's a little bit off. Okay, moving on. Targets. Targets vaporized. Oh, and shoot myself. Yeah, you're seeing the faster missiles going, just playing around there as well. One drawback I think of this entire setup is because power's coming from there. As you probably noticed, just like looking at the forward section of the ship, it's like these battery banks are actually low charge no matter what. And that's because the battery packs are being hauled all the way back there. The fact they're big batteries doesn't help at all in that. So despite the fact I've got a lot of crew doing it, they are pretty much constantly going back and forth just to maintain passive operation. So if the shields actually get knocked out, then it becomes like, yeah, it just has trouble no matter what. Let's swap around a little bit of the crew. I was considering using these guys just to, like to operate the cannons. Let's do that actually. You're a battery boy, and do the same thing on the other side. Battery boys, cannon operators. That'll do. Perfect time to be swapping gunnery crew around as well, right when we're about to engage in a fight. Right, let's see. Wait a second, did I? I did. Foolish me. I just realised I forgot to reinstall the sensor suite. I'm afraid my railgun is bigger than yours. Just a tad. I still really like that. Yeah, I think I really do think I've forgotten to reinstall the sensor suite in this thing. I mean, I've got the 2 control rooms at the back there, but there's no sensor room. Right, let's fix that now, shall we? Sensor room. There it is, sensor room. Turn off mirror. There's plenty of gaps around here, so I think I'll just install one there. That's fine, right? I was thinking maybe put a tractor beam in the same place, but the tractor beam is bigger. Also, I've never used them, so it's like, you know, probably a bit of a bad idea, that. Right. Do I want anything else on that other side? No. You know what? For the hell with it, I'll install a opposed auxiliary control room. So that means the ship now has 3 control rooms to make sure it doesn't go out of control. Well, any more than it already does, so. Right, we've got power issues all along the rail accelerators. Okay. And that's despite having these gunnery crews here, but I think that's because the gunnery crews grab from the big reactor and then wander off the entire direction. There is that small reactor there to help, of course, but don't know how well this thing's going to handle. The length of the barrels and the narrowness of the installation space, I think, is causing a few issues. Maybe I should station some crew actually halfway along it. That might be a good idea. In fact, yeah, let's try that. It's going to mess with things a little bit in terms of speed, getting to and fro, but if it's a localized crew to help out, then it can only be good, right? Okay, right, let's double check my rolls. I think gunnery crew are the ones I want. Ballistics, railgun operators. Yep, you guys put out his batteries and things. Fine. Okay, so you guys are going to be gunnery crew to help ensure that everything stays charged up. Okay, right, next test. Vanguard, definitely pretty solid. So, elite. Is my ship still worthy of being elite? My ship's expensive enough to be elite. Still very slow to wind up to warp. Okay. Right, first victim, that lone one over there. Looks like we've got a fleet over here, but so far I'm quite happy with the killing power of the secondary beams. And the primary beams are as deadly as I was expecting. Deadly weaponry. Deadly firepower. Right, sorry. Just trying to summon my inner madness for a few moments there. It's been a while. Also... Oh! Whoops. That might cause a few issues. Okay, what have we got? An icy beetle. Small railgun, mostly like a big ship kind of thing. Let's core out its heart. Yeah, once again, turning is struggling. Shots pummeling that weakened area there. Well, once my ship turned around and started broadsiding, it did the job. However, my ship, on reflection and looking at it really quickly, I have very little in terms of reverse thrust, so... Basically, I have next to no ability to actually dictate combat distance. I charge in and then the brakes don't work, effectively. So, yeah, I have limited directional control. I can turn okay. I can accelerate forwards okay. Everything else is a bit of a blur, though. And I'm not sure what happened there. Oh! Those railguns do their job, don't they? Okay. Those missiles do seem to have some good range on them. If I wanted to, I could literally just really hang back, couldn't I? I could like hang back around here or something like that. But yeah, this ship just isn't manoeuvring very well. Oh, I missed. And admittedly, it's not turning very well either, which is actually kind of bad. All those missiles. Oh, good. That was the limit of the ion range. Yeah, I wanna. A bandsaw. Oh, that looks potent. Also, why is it pointing that way? What the heck is it doing? And I'm afraid I've got more missiles than you do, but my boyo. Mine is a missile barge, beam monster, rail hybrid. Basically, I have 3 core weapon systems, which do nasty, nasty things. Power shortages on the rails, power shortages on the beams. I need more crew in the missile assemblies, it looks like. Yeah, the rails are so big I'm struggling to supply them properly, it looks like. Maybe I should assign these guys to just like work on the furthermost section of rails. And do the same to the guys down here. That might be a good idea, actually. Let's try that. Right, take you. Forward section, that's 12. That's 2 per crew member. So, okay. And then I'll take the most readily accessible, which are these guys, for the next set, which goes as far as here. That should be alright, right? Okay. Next accessible. Let's take these guys actually. And make sure that each section of rail has got a dedicated room working on it. There we go. No random crew assignments, no nothing. You guys all know which section you're supposed to be working on, and these guys at the bottom here will also handle reloading because they've got less rail to worry about. Right, next up is this section here, which I think needs flat out more people, honestly. You guys are battery mules, you guys are random crew members. Let's be cheeky and once again give my people excellent working conditions. Let's make sure Mirmo's turned on. Give them an access across there, and then bink, bink, couple of extra crew spaces right there. Just because, apart from the spacewalk, it's a fast access to the reactor, though admittedly it removes the armor protection between this entire area and the rail assembly. And let's give another crew section up there as well. And I'm just going to leave those as unassigned crew. So that'll work. I mean, these guns are operated by the people down here, so they'll be fine. Maybe. Just trying to reshuffle my personnel to try and make sure that things are working properly. Save it, yes. Then, of course, we've got a couple of these guys. Actually, should I have these guys being told to supply these exclusively? Would that help? Probably. I should probably tell these guys and leave these guys just to go wherever the heck they want to. That would probably be a better idea. I've never really messed around with crew assignment that much, have I? Right, you. Can I tell you to do that? Yes. And can I tell you to do that? Yes. Let's also tell you to do that too. So at least we've got someone permanently assigned to those forward shields. You guys, I don't want you guys wandering off all the way over here. You guys are the faster responders available to work on this entire section, so you guys do that. Well, that's another issue, of course. There's no fast way to get from here to here. The only way is to go whoop, all the way down and all the way through, so it's like not the best. If only there was a way to get them across this section, but I think all I could do is like move the shields forward and then build another spacewalker across the front of the railgun batteries. It's like, I think my crew safety standards might be slipping a little bit. I don't know. Excuse me. Yeah. Sorry if anyone that caught by surprise. I wasn't expecting that either. Sadly, a bit of combat testing and tinkering, though, it becomes apparent that this ship, it does need more engine power now, especially since its mass has increased with all the extra beam batteries and stuff, and the fact I tossed them out. Hopefully the crew arrangement will be a bit better, but I suspect like cutting this area in half and then replacing this with a big reactor to power this entire forward blade section might be a solid approach to it. Also, more engines in this internal space that's left up here would probably work out quite nicely for helping the ship move around a bit better. But yeah, I'm actually at my half-hour mark now, though, so that's where I have to call it. Don't worry, though. Next episode will be significantly less than 2 weeks. So, yeah. This has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying the show, and catch you all some other time. The French tickler rides again. Or something to that effect, I'm not entirely sure.